Hello and welcome to AutoToday. My name is Deepan and you're joining me in Pune for this, the first drive of the brand new facelifted Tata Harrier. Now, it's a facelift, so that means that under the skin it's mostly all the same, which means you get a 2-liter diesel engine mated to a 6-speed transmission, either automatic or manual, and under the skin is Tata's Omega Arc architecture, which is what the chassis is based on and is derived from the Land Rover frame. But as far as facelifts go, this, as you can probably already tell, is a pretty significant one, and there are lots of little cosmetic changes on the outside and on the inside. So let's not waste any more time, jump straight into our review and get into all the cosmetic details on the outside that make this facelifted Harrier different. Now, the first thing you have to know about the Tata Harrier before we jump into the styling details is the fact for these two new cars, both the Safari and the Harrier, Tata have done away with variants and they've now been replaced by something that Tata called personas. Now, these personas are designed to match the buyers for each variant of the car, and they have thematic designs both on the outside and on the inside to match that. Now, this particular color is only available in the Fearless persona, and I get why. It's a loud color, but I think it looks bold and I think it grabs attention. And if you're a Fearless sort of person, I think that this car will appeal to you. Now, the general design themes, of course, starting at the front, you're probably going to notice this LED DRL that now runs along the front. It is now a sequential DRL with some animations, including a welcome home and a goodbye light. You also get an updated grille with these chrome inserts along the front. It's blacked out and it's almost EV-like. It's not an entirely open grille, but there are slats for air to pass through as well. The grille theme continues along the bottom. Now, of course, you get the headlamps mounted in the bumper and fog lamps with a cornering function right underneath that. Now, the really interesting thing though about this new facelifted Harrier is the way Tata have designed aerodynamics into their fundamental design, and that starts with this air dam at the front. Now, continuing that aerodynamic theme, you also get an air dam in the rear wheel well that feeds out of here and therefore cuts the air perfectly over these aerodynamically designed 18-inch alloy wheels. Now we move to the back of the car, where you now get this LED that runs along the length of the rear door as well as the fenders and kind of wraps around the car to give it that very premium effect. Now, this too has animations for welcome and goodbye, and I think that's really cool. And of course, there is a badging change at the back as well with the new font spaced out, and I think that looks really premium. You also get a piano black finish to match matte black of the bumpers, and I think that also stands out. You get reflectors along the side, nicely inset into the bumper, and that adds to the butch appeal of the Harrier despite it being very small. I think the one thing that really stands out to me though overall when it comes to the Harrier is how much different it now appears from the Safari, and I think that is what Tata's key takeaway was when designing this car. They said that this car has a lot more curves than before, and the Safari follows a design theme of straight lines. And that final bit about the back that you're going to want to know with the Harrier is, of course, the electronically operated tailgate. We know that the facelift had a manually powered tail, and that used to get a little heavy, but now you can just swing your foot across with just a control, and it's as easy as that. Once you've stepped into the cabin of the Tata Harrier, you're going to notice the bulk of the changes. And the first thing you're going to notice are the themed interiors. Now, the themes on the interiors match the personas on the outside, and that means according to what model you buy, Tata will theme the interiors to match. Now, we have the Fearless version of the Tata Harrier, and that means the interiors are themed to that Fearless spec, which is neon accents throughout the car, some in leather, and of course this beautiful vinyl on the dashboard that really accentuates that youthful appeal of this Fearless persona. Another big change, of course, is the steering wheel, which now gets the Tata logo with a digital illumination at the back, and that looks pretty cool and premium. The buttons are also now all capacitive touch with, of course, toggles for song changing and control of the ADAS features. Another big change is, of course, this 12 6-inch Harman infotainment system that gets Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as well as various assistants and Tata's IRA 2.0. Now, along the center console, you also get a new bejeweled terrain selector knob, which has its own little TFT in the middle, and it looks very premium and adds to the cabin's appeal. There is also a change to the safety on the interiors, which means that you get 3-point ELRC belts all around for all 5 passengers, and that really adds to the safety in the cabin. But aside from that, you also get 7 airbags on this range-topping fearless persona, but you do get 6 airbags as standard, and the 7th one is a knee airbag that you get only on the range-topping models. There is also now a 360 surround view camera, which makes parking in tight spots really easy. The driver's seat is powered in 4 directions, and both the front seats are ventilated, and this makes a big difference for Indian driving conditions. And now that we are behind the wheel of the new Tata Harrier, I can tell you that not a lot has changed, but that's a good thing, because under the hood is of course the Kyrotech 170, which stands for the 170 bhp that is made from this 2-liter motor. Of course, you also get 350 Nm of torque and drive modes that can be switched on the fly. Now, for the most part, I think that eco mode makes the most sense in the city, especially to maximize mileage in traffic, and it doesn't really take away that much from performance, and it's something that we've noticed in the old Harrier and the Safari, and that continues on this as well. The engine does have a little NVH that does travel into the cabin, but it's not a deal breaker per se for me. Aside from that, everything has remained the same, as does the 6-speed manual gearbox. Now, as far as this particular manual gearbox is concerned, I think the clutch could have been a little lighter, especially considering that a lot of people who will be buying the manual version of the Tata Harrier will be driving a lot in the city. A lighter clutch would have just made operations a whole lot easier. I do like the gates of this gear stick, but I don't like the finish of the top of it. Although the rubberized finish does give you great grip, it just looks a little out of place in the cabin. Thank you so much for tuning in to our video review of the Tata Harrier facelift. If you like this video, please smash that like button, because it means so much to us. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to the AutoToday channel, this is your chance to do that now, and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new content. Now, as far as this facelift goes, it is a pretty significant facelift. It remains to be seen how much the price will change at the time of the launch and how much these new features will cost in reality. But as far as a product to product goes, I think the Harrier has taken a full step forward with this facelift and has become a lot more livable in so many ways, and that makes it a much better car now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Didi signing off.